Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Daily Debate. My name is Ahmed Nader and tonight we're going to focus on the artificial intelligence and the future of it in the country within the framework of the national strategy of the country for the artificial intelligence, the AI, and means of enhancing it for the future. And I'm honored to be having with me on the program for today is Professor Wael Badawy, the Professor of Data Science and Cybersecurity at the School of Artificial Intelligence at the Egyptian Russian University. Thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate.
Thank you.
Anytime. First of all, we will be starting with the first report of the Daily Debate for tonight, which focuses on the future of the artificial intelligence and modern technology in the country. We'll be having more details regarding such an important field in the upcoming report. Stay tuned.
Minister of Communications and Information Technology and the National Council for Artificial Intelligence chairman announced that Egypt is in discussions on the second phase of the National Strategy for Artificial Intelligence, AI. Talat explained that the second phase of the strategy aims to improve the National Artificial Intelligence Index by implementing several initiatives across 6 sectors: governance, environment, information infrastructure, data, human resources, and technology. The first phase of the strategy will end in May 2024, and it aims to use artificial intelligence technologies to support the achievement of Egypt's sustainable development goals. The duration of the second phase of the strategy is 3 years. Egypt recently moved up 7 spots in the global AI index issued by Tortoise Media. The second phase of the strategy adopted a number of priority initiatives within these axes, which are enhancing the scope of investment, raising the level of public awareness of artificial intelligence, attracting investments for data centers, enabling the management of the stages of the local data life cycle, developing capabilities in the field of artificial intelligence, and building a technological platform based on the development of big data technology. Earlier this month, a recent report from the Cabinet's Information and Decision Support Center, the IDSC, revealed that the artificial intelligence market in medical imaging reached $4 million in Egypt in 2022. The report projects significant growth at a compound annual rate of 36.9% from 2022 to 2030, expecting the market to hit $52 million.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate. I'm honored, as I said at the beginning, to be having here in the studio with me Professor Wael Badawy. Professor Wael, as we did see in the past report, the teaching and the learning solutions here in the country, how do you think they have changed dramatically, of course, positively by the artificial intelligence?
Thank you for having me, first of all.
Anytime.
And if we want to understand how Egypt implemented the AI strategies, we are one of the earliest country, maybe the first country in Africa to have a school of artificial intelligence where we focus our graduate on issues and problems in artificial intelligence. This has given us a leap, and as a result, you heard in the report that there is a market now for medical imaging and AI. And I do know a few startup companies where they actually export their services to companies in Europe, and they operate in different initiatives locally, different hospitals. So Egypt developed a plan, and we have a large number right now of schools right now where we all dedicated to AI and data science. The university I came from we have 4 programs. We have AI, we have data science, cybersecurity, and standard software engineering. And software engineering also will help providing the AI services to public through software development. So I believe we have a good chance to move forward with and increase our rank in the index and taking more or a better position than the current position we have. I jumped about 7 points ahead, which is huge.
Yes. How do you see the educational system being transformed by the artificial intelligence here in the country nowadays?
We understand it in 2 ways. One is how we use AI or artificial intelligence into the education system. The experience through COVID, where we went through remote learning, we went through a secure platform to exchange students' material and stuff like that. This was a direct application of AI. Right now, we have systems where we do check on plagiarism for the students. We have system where we can extract so many reports. So we have been employing AI, data analysis, whatever you call it, into enhancing the service we give to our students. On the other hand, we offer unique programs where we provide state-of-the-art solutions. And it was amazing to see how Ministry of Higher Education, Ministry of Communication, even Ministry of Youth and Ministry of Social Affairs, all of these ministries will get together and offer different programs. So now I have a demand in my classrooms where students request to learn or to get into more details of a specific technology.
Yes.
And some of them are actually more advanced than even finding public resource for it. So we have to use communication with our colleagues and friends overseas to try to extract where we can locate educational material for this, like generative AI, different applications. So right now the students in the school, they have better understanding than majority of the professors, which is a unique situation we are in. And all of this because of all these initiatives, like the initiatives from Ministry of Information and Communication. They will use the money to enhance the market readiness for the students, educate the students on market needs, exact problem for market needs. And they take first year, second year, third year, they actually move down to secondary diploma students. So you get kids in the school, in the university, they're really aware of and they have demands in the AI services.
Yes, to be enhancing the experience, the learning experience of the students, that is the main aim of the artificial intelligence in Egypt nowadays in terms of education. How can we be turning from the conventional methods that are being used or were used in the past to smarter ones nowadays?
We are faced with problems, and the solution for these problems, one of the common problem right now is the students, they use blindly generative AI using either, I don't want to call a specific company because right now there are 6 or 7 major corporations doing generative AI, where the students will ask questions, will provide the question to the system, and the system will reply with the answer. So we have been forced in some of our classrooms where we tell the students, go to use the generative AI, come back and critique what this generative AI will do.
Yes.
And we have been transforming many of our assignments into this approach. Also, the Ministry of Higher Education, I believe is October, November last year, they produced guidelines of how to implement AI, and especially the one which allow cheating or plagiarizing or creating technology into our classroom. We also provide ethics and best practice to this particular tool so that students can be able to use it. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I was in an event, and during this event there was a major company, and the representative of this company indicated that all word processor, all spreadsheet, like different where you can do analytics, will be equipped with this particular generative which produced by this company. And we don't want to make advertisement to anybody, that's why we're trying to talk in generic terms.
Yes.
So all video editing has currently has a solution where you can apply AI package or AI enhanced surfaces. So, which means that this is something here to live with us, and we have to compensate for the negative aspect of it, or we have to compensate where we don't allow weak students to take advantage of it to get higher mark. And the only way of doing that is we employ it transparently with the student and say, this is how you use it, and please critique what the AI is doing. At this point, the students has to learn as self-learning much higher. So it gives self-independence, it gives more confidence because they are going on their own. It creates less dependency on the school, which is, I believe, good attribute for workplace and future engineers.
Yes, the fourth industrial revolution we are witnessing, it is here to stay, and we have to be coping with it. In terms of education and in terms of the artificial intelligence and the application of it in the Egyptian society, how do you think Egypt is coping with such a revolution, a global revolution?
We produce students who are aware of the AI, and
Yes.
they do projects. Through the different national competition, there is lots of interest right now in these students into having a startup companies, and these startup companies will produce their projects, and some of these competitions will go up to $500,000 Egyptian pound as reward. There are few competitions right now that will end up being like Shark Tanks, will be like produced like Shark Tanks on TV, where we promote the students to develop their own money-making or revenue through their own activities as a small company. And one good thing about using digitalization and AI is the investment to start a new company is not huge, because it's mainly human capital and a little bit of computers. Other work, you need more resources, like you need farms, you need lands, you need stuff like that.
Yes.
So we are now on track where we can enable more startup companies, and as I'm saying, like many of those companies I'm aware of in the medical area, they were started from specific universities. So it's a good opportunity for us.
Yes, speaking of universities and the Ministry of Education and Higher Education, the digital transformation that we have been witnessing under the tenure of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, how do you think it will be affecting positively the application of artificial intelligence for the Ministry of Higher Education and, of course, in turn, to the students?
It's a very legitimate question, and what we say is AI, it's a way to process digital data.
Yes.
So you need to have digital data and digital assets to be able to process them. So adopting and getting the fabric of the society, accepting the online and the digital platform, digital transformation, getting the students into the attitude of doing self-studies on short courses.
Yes.
This enabled to be able to access more resources from the artificial intelligence. We also have been watching few gifted students who they do have aid by artificial intelligence. There are also programs to allow ladies into producing handicraft, and I was part of the initiative where we provide them with digital readiness. So we taught them, the initiative taught them few different programs, and what was amazing is they went in, they make designs, and then they have teddy bears look like what the AI have been producing for them.
Yes.
So getting people to be ready to produce and be a productive, creating revenue in the market, digital transformation, AI is the second level of digital transformation. So there are lots of avenues where we can enhance. And as I always say, it's too early for AI to observe because it's still developing, it's still evolving.
Yes, it is still evolving, as we have seen over the past few weeks. The Minister of Education and Technical Education, Rida Hagazi, the ministry has organized under his administration and his tenure a workshop for the metaverse, to be knowing more about the metaverse and the artificial intelligence. And this, of course, will be targeting the students of the Ministry of Education, which are relatively younger than the students of the higher education, the Ministry of Higher Education. What is the importance of knowing more about the metaverse? What is the metaverse and how can it be shaping our future?
Metaverse is a keyword noted by Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook.
Yes.
And the concept of having a virtual environment So the virtual environment, and you can use it you can access it through cameras, and you can have virtual reality, augmented reality. Metaverse have been in Egypt since 1995. We have simulators 360 degrees in one institute, and I was one of the initial engineers who developed these simulators, where you can see a shipment and people can go there and get training on different sea levels, and you can actually get seasick.
So for about 30 years we have had this technology.
We have this technology, but not with cameras. What we have been seeing through the last 2, 3, 5 years is this technology became available for the standard citizen,
yes,
not special environment. Using simulators for military training and marine training have been here for more than 10 years. So if you want to look at the metaverse basically is building a virtual environment where you can do exploration. One of the good examples for geologists, for example, if you want to look at caves, or you look at sub-sea columns or subterranean column, or do exploration. This example, we have been seeing it as geological caves in universities outside Egypt,
yes,
more than 15 years ago. So having the metaverse, it's a different way where you can get better feeling, better experience, and all what you need after that is, if you have the practice, you shall be able to give a little training on the real equipment. The current generation of kids, and let me call them kids because they are 8 years and younger, they are more attached into computers. They are more attached into screens. They use this metaverse in gaming. So the way to take them off the screen for gaming and put them for a better use of their time,
yes,
is to use the same technology.
The same screen.
It's the same screen and the same glass.
But for a different purpose.
For a different purpose.
Yes.
There are some ethical issues around that, because there are issues, because when you are in this environment, there is no really authority can control the content.
Yes.
So you can learn few prohibited or lawful or not suitable for their age. So there are lots of other issues we can talk about it in this metaverse. But basically the metaverse is you go inside, you put glasses in your eyes, and you can either be inside the space as augmented reality, or you can survive into the virtual reality. Currently with the new computing systems, processor and so what have you, it generates very close to real human being. So you can basically survive into a virtual environment.
Yes, the 3D virtual space, the augmented reality and the Internet of Things. When do you think these technologies would be on the streets of Egypt?
I believe with initiatives like 5G, like the new initiatives of 5G, and there are one operator right now start with 5G.
Yes.
5G as communication, it enables this kind of high-speed internet. 6G will be the next one. So by Egypt adopting
6G.
There is a 6G, and there are much
Is it applied in different parts of the world?
Not yet. It's still in a standardization and the early development. It takes about 3 to 7 years for a standard to be developed. So 5G, Egypt is now leading in 5G deployment, and there is one carrier right now in early stage. So 5G, it will enable the fast internet access to wireless network, which means that you have the Internet of Things be able to be integrated into the carrier operator. It will be a better communication line for us, but our phones will not be a voice phone, will be a data phone. So adopting these different technologies will enable these toys or these gadgets, not toys is a good term for it because we'll pay for it very again. But these gadgets, it will be enabled to be used in the country. So I believe the government have a very balanced approach where they enable the infrastructure. They lack some infrastructure, like we lack our own cloud systems available for public. We have cloud systems for Ministry of Interior, some like our national numbers, stuff like that. It's very restricted to the government services. But we need the startup companies, the public, to be able to use the cloud. So having the new renewal of the strategic plan for AI for another 3 years, one of the pillar is actually infrastructure. And the one explicitly cloud forms or storage forms, which most likely they will invite one of the major player worldwide to establish a farm in Egypt or establish a plant in Egypt, which will enable our students to find jobs in the most advanced technology around the globe. So I believe the government is playing a balanced approach where they enable the infrastructure and they have the plan to develop human being, develop the human capital by deploying AI almost everywhere. So the new graduate will have the AI tools, and then at certain point you will have this on the streets. But it takes time because they are not yet on the street outside.
Yes.
Still right now, to buy a real active camera, you talk about a couple of $1,000s to much more than that.
Relatively expensive.
Relatively expensive for the benefit of it. Not for, I'm not talking, we are not concerned with the price.
Yes.
Because if you invest and compute the return on investment, it will not be expensive. But for the use of it, still, people don't see the value. Still at a high-end gaming. Still at a high-end simulation and the training where it saves money. Having it, still the technology usually takes about 18 months to cut the price by half. Every 18 months, the price will cut by half. So this kind of technology is still in development. There are new companies, there are very well-established companies, and they start to say, we will have new glasses. And remember that Google has a glass, and they took it off the market because it did not, it was like 4 or 5 years ago, did not evolve into a product which can continue because people did not see the value at the time to spend that much money for just having a glass where it can get you access to the internet while walking in the street.
So why are people more encouraged now to be using such glasses and such technology?
People are encouraged right now because you have more high sophisticated computers, you have more programs, people will have more time. People having now the habit of staying home because of the COVID. Like before COVID, I'm not sure you and me and all of our friends, when did we stay home for like 1 full day? After COVID, we start to have the habit of staying home and we need to do something at home. Similar for the kids. So the social practice have been changed a little bit. The cost of having computers, the infrastructure, the internet, and there are so many new programs and applications. So that's why people right now are in need. In medical, there are lots of medical applications where you can use metaverse and doing a remote operation.
Yes.
And there are a couple of hospitals in Egypt here where they do this kind of remote operations.
Yes, Professor Wael Badawy, allow me to be going to the other report of the daily debate for tonight, which focuses on Egypt launching the second phase of the National Strategy for Artificial Intelligence. Stay tuned.
The use of artificial intelligence, AI, in developing new teaching learning solutions is gaining momentum towards transforming the education system in Egypt. Schools are beginning to shift from conventional methods of teaching to smart education to enhance students' learning experiences. The role of AI in the educational process is very important and crucial, as the AI is the locomotive of the future and one of the mainstays of the fourth industrial revolution. Moreover, the digital transformation is one of the dimensions of the Ministry of Education and Technical Education's Strategic Plan 2024-2029. Egypt's Minister of Education and Technical Education, Rida Hagazi, said the ministry is keen on promoting the use of modern technology and artificial intelligence, the AI, in the educational domain. In this regard, the Ministry of Education inaugurated the first workshop on metaverse and AI, which is organized by Meta Company in collaboration with the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology, MCIT, the American University in Cairo, and the Egypt University of Informatics. A metaverse can be any 3D virtual space powered by technologies, including virtual reality, VR, augmented reality, AR, AI, the Internet of Things, IoT, and blockchain that allows people to interact with each other. Egypt is one of the few countries that proceeded with the educational process due to Egypt's powerful technological infrastructure. In recent years, AI has developed significantly thanks to deep learning technology. It is a method in artificial intelligence that teaches computers to process data in a way that is inspired by the human brain. Deep learning models can recognize complex patterns in pictures, text, sounds, and other data to produce accurate insights and predictions. Egypt's first metaverse and AI Week marks a milestone for stakeholders, including the government, private sector, industry, entrepreneurs, policymakers, and academia to jointly design a roadmap for the uptake of emerging metaverse technologies with a focus on Egypt.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and I'm honored to be having with me over the program for tonight Professor Wael Badawy, the Professor of Data Science and Cybersecurity at the School of Artificial Intelligence in the Egyptian Russian University. Thank you very much once again for being with us tonight. We were speaking about the artificial intelligence and the national strategy for artificial intelligence here in the country, as we did see in the past report. What is the second phase of this strategy entails for the future?
It will entail make the better infrastructure to support higher speed data that allow AI and other applications like metaverse to be in a play in real time. This is the biggest change in our operation. And then it will train different individuals on how to use this technology. So this is a basic mission for it. But we have also to consider that deploying these technologies come with some gaps, some risks, some ethical issues with it. And we have now different initiatives where Egypt is developing laws and regulations.
What are the main pros and cons of applying such strategies?
Okay, we have been looking at it from different perspectives.
Yes.
We talked about blockchain, we talked about AI, we talked about metaverse. We talked about virtual reality and augmented reality. So there are ethical issues in all of them. One of them is biased. So if you are looking for technology where you don't provide biased data and you don't provide trained data which does not contain specific information, you don't need people to know it, you have to have some transparencies. We found out that even these technologies, when we train and we create this technology, there are some bias in our daily life.
Yes.
Like there are people who have been criminals because they are, for example, in North America, many of them are coming from the African American or the black society. They are more criminals than the white. So we found technology, the data itself is biased. We have also transparency, and we have what we call it explanatory. We need to understand why the AI developed in this way. If you talk to metaverse, there are different ethics around metaverse. Because in metaverse, I create an avatar, which basically a virtual clone or a virtual twin, digital twin of me.
Yes.
So you need to make sure that this digital twin have a better representation, good representation. The allowed avatars do not provide any connotation religion-wise, political-wise. We need also to make sure that the interaction and the information developed in real time inside the metaverse space, they meet specific legal and social values of ours. AI, generative AI will produce this output on demand. So when you ask the virtual clown or the virtual avatar, you will get feedback.
Yes.
Nobody's controlling or monitoring this feedback. So here we talk about different set of ethical components where we need to make sure these are respected and followed by the developers. We have a complete different issue that the developers themselves are not from the country. That's why we always tell our government, please find us a way to have this. When we talk about augmented reality, we need to make, and virtual reality, we need to make sure that when you pick up a site or location and put it into the metaverse, it reflects the real one. For example, you have a company competitor to you or a TV station competitor to you, you don't remove it. Because in the virtual domain, you can easily remove it. So this kind of different set of technology, it has different sets of requirement where we want to make sure that they are transparent and people will get the value of it. When we talk about science, teaching science, will you teach them all kind of different men and women, what we will teach them? When you talk about religion, what you will teach them? Unfortunately, people are trying to get into this domain and they mix all of them together. So if people talk about law for, okay, it's not digital transformation. You need to have a specific sections for metaverse. You need to have a specific section for blockchain. Blockchain on its own, it's a big challenge because blockchain means security. Means you have a key or you have a message, I have a message, combining them together, we can unblock the security. So when we bring blockchain algorithms, we have to make sure that these algorithms are not breakable. The one who created for us does not have a back door to get inside this security. If the one getting the security is Homeland Security or somebody look for national security, it's okay, but it's not a third-party company which can hack inside the system. And we heard about lots of problems for large social media companies with companies in the UK and different places where they found this company have been manipulating the system in a different way. So each one of these technologies mentioned in the report, or I mentioned them here, they have to have a guideline governed by a law. Unfortunately, law are going in a slower pace because law is protecting you from what happened, not what could happen or what will happen. So we cannot sit here and say, let's do a new law for metaverse while there is no really application for metaverse.
Yes.
And there is no really problems. There is no.
We need the full application first to be seeing the problems and then the laws.
And then the law will come. And the law will come when you have so many cases in court because of this particular violation. So this is the kind of area we are evolving in, and to secure the society. I'm also aware of many of my colleagues, and they do have different small committees where they discuss this ethical. And the ethics report came out, they are updated on a regular basis because the technology is moving at a faster pace because it's not a stable technology yet.
At least every year they should be updated.
Maybe every 6 months to 3 months.
So a couple of times a year as well. Well, we have the National Artificial Intelligence Index here in Egypt being applied, and it focuses on 6 different axes. 2 of them are the environment and the governance. So we'll be focusing on those couple of sectors. How do you think artificial intelligence could be making those sectors even more positive for the future?
On governance, as I'm saying, if it's a way to govern and create different rules and legal system. By the way, one good friend of Egyptian guy here in Egypt, lives in Egypt.
Yes.
He is doing for different countries in Africa laws for them. I was surprised when I heard that Dr. Higazi is actually going to Zambia to give them advices on how to develop their laws for digital transformation and AI. So we have the lead in Africa. If in terms of environment, if you deploy IoT and you develop these sensors or like a wide area network, and the back end will be the cellular network, as if the standard viewer will understand that whenever you have a phone, you can now have a sensor which can sense hydrocarbon, you can sense light, humidity. You can basically control and have a good monitor of the environment. So by doing so, you will be able to create a better environmental conditions. What we have been seeing in controlling heat and cold and getting lights and stuff like that are all computer operated by machine learning, and machine learning is one aspect of AI. Remember, when we talk about AI, people get confused. What's AI? AI is machine learning, which machine can operate as human in a very simple sequential way human can do. It can computer vision, it can see as human, specifics human can see, it can hear as human, it can understand natural language, which is the new things, which will make programming easy because you can talk to the computer with your own Arabic or your English. You don't need to learn C, C++, the computer will generate it for you.
Yes.
And the deep learning, which was mentioned, which basically, because of the computer are faster, you have a much bigger neural network, which can do lots of operation. So these are the 5 main components of any AI. So enable them by 5G technology, by having distributed systems where you can monitor. You can have a better monitor and a better use for our environmental resources. You can also control waste management. You can reduce use of natural gas. You can reduce, because you know now what's going on. You know which roads are too busy. So you can move traffic in a different way. So all of this kind of activity are needed by having a sensor under a large network and the brain which can make a decision and then produce it to a human. The human will say, yes, let's do it, as a sanity check.
Yes, and the index that we have here in Egypt is also focusing, as you mentioned, on the human resources and the brains of people, as you've mentioned, and not just technology, but the infrastructure as well. For those 2 axes, what is the importance of having an artificial intelligence index for the human resources and technology, as well as the data and the infrastructure?
For infrastructure, you have a legal issues by transporting your data outside the nation for processing. So we must have our own infrastructure locally.
Yes.
Having people who can maintain and process this by reproducing a better capita, it's our mission. And I believe we are now producing students, graduates, who have been hired outside by foreign companies because they are fully competent and they can get the job done.
Yes, Professor Wael Badawy, the Professor of Data Science and Cybersecurity at the School of Artificial Intelligence in the Egyptian Russian University. Thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Anytime. And this brings us to the end of the Daily Debate for tonight. Thank you for watching and goodbye.